Okay, no, it looks like it's fine. It looks
Hi,
like
everybody.
it's fine.
How do you see us? How do you hear us? We had some stuff where it looked like things were going to be wrong, but then now they look okay.
It kept
So
saying our
maybe
resolution was
it's
coming in
okay.
super low. I don't know what was
Who
going
knows?
on, but it looks like we're fine. Let us know if you can hear us and
If you
see
can
us.
see us and hear us, we are here to do some rapid reviews. We are going to talk about everything we played in the month of February. Normally, we're doing this right at the start of March, but of course, we were on the
We were at
road.
Dinosaur West, yes.
So this is everything we played in February. And we are going to get into it right now. If you can, while you're watching, give this video a thumbs up, whether or not you're watching this live or after the fact. This is also live, so there might be moments where we check in with the chat, but just know that we're going to try to like focus on our reviews, get through them, then answer some questions at the end. So if you have any questions and want to do a little Q&A and stuff, we'll do that after we get through everything we played in February.
Indeed. The first thing we always do at the beginning of Rapid Reviews is shout out our patrons from last month. We have one new patron by Sharon and Steve for the month of February. Thank you so much, Sharon and Steve. We really appreciate that. Also, if you really like us, consider checking out our Patreon. And also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already. Really, honestly, thumbs up and commenting on the video are by far the best way to help YouTube creators.
Comment with your favorite game you played this month.
Indeed. So please let us know and give this video a thumbs up. Absolutely. So Mikey, let's go ahead and start. We're going to get right into it. Again, if you have any questions over that, save them for the end because we're going to do a Q&A kind of Mikey.
First game we
Which
played.
you played. I played, to be
Can't
fair.
Stop. I played 3 games in a row. I played 3 games in a row where halfway through the game it looked like I was going to win, and then at the end of the game I didn't.
You did.
Win.
Who won, Mike?
Sass Queen.
Sass Queen won, indeed.
Sass Queen, if you know Sass Queen, she's a menace on the internet.
That's
and
true.
She wins Can't Stop. She has all the luck in the world.
All the time.
But we appreciate it. She's awesome. Can't Stop is super fun. It's just a great...
I've never played it.
It's just straight up push your luck.
Right?
There's no real skill involved, but there is that great thing of like, do I stop or do I keep going? And then you're going up these different tracks, and it's obviously harder to roll a 2 or a 12, but you only have to bump up a couple times to get to the top of those tracks versus a 7 is the longest track, but it's the easiest thing in theory to roll.
I honestly know nothing about it. So it's like, if you roll a 7, you go up like the 7 track?
Yes,
or something like
but
that?
for each turn you have, you can only basically work on 3 tracks per turn.
Okay.
So if you roll something and you go up a 7 and you go up a 3, and then on a future thing you go up a 6, now you can only continue up if you roll one of those 3 tracks, and that's where you can bust.
So you bust if you roll something wrong?
Yes,
basically?
if you can't basically ascend on one track, then you bust out. But you can choose to stop and then save your progress, and now you can continue on a future turn.
Okay. I like
and it's as simple as that.
Yeah,
it's so fun. Really love Can't Stop.
Okay, cool. Can't Stop. Yeah, it's one of those games that like somehow I've never played.
Yeah.
We played Pusheen's Perfect Pick.
We celebrated Pusheen's birthday.
We did celebrate Pusheen's birthday. So we have an ongoing partnership with Robin's Burger where we stream a bunch of their games over on Twitch. Check us out on twitch.tv/thebellersmurf. We played Pusheen's Perfect Pick for them, which is Robin's Burger game. So it was Pusheen's birthday. It's February 18th, I believe.
That's right.
Pusheen has a birthday. And so they're like, hey, we want you to stream it on Pusheen's birthday.
Celebrate.
We went and got Pusheen merch. I had like a Pusheen beanie on.
We had Pusheen plush. We were giving away plush and games.
We were on a green screen, so we had like Pusheen pink, which is this specific shade of pink right here. Is like, that's Pusheen pink. And it's a fun little game. I actually really liked it. This is a very light family weight game. Set collection game. But like a lot of these games that come out by like Robin's Burger, like the Op, which are these very like family weight, kind of like what I would consider like modern mass market games.
Yeah.
But they honestly are games, and they have honest decisions, because in this case, there's a bunch of cards out on the board, and the board is either Pusheen's yard or Pusheen's house. And you basically will put this little Pusheen, this little squishy Pusheen, in the spot, and it has access to 4 cards, and then all the players will draft one of those 4 cards.
Available cards. Yeah.
And so the first player obviously drafts first, and you go in order around that. But the thing is like there are different activities Pusheen's trying to do with Pusheen's friends and different items. So you're trying to collect those cards to do those things.
It's like snapshots of like your adventures.
Yeah, your adventures.
Is what scores you points.
And so if this one wants a Pusheen-a-corn, a little burb, and then a super Pusheen-a-corn, and I know Mike has 2 of those cards, I want to make sure I don't put Pusheen in a place where Mike can just draft the card he wants.
Gift me a snapshot.
So it's very simple, but there are honest decisions where you're like, oh, I'm not going to put this here because I know Mike is going for that. And so I'm going to put it over here. And again, very light, very simple. But I'm like, this has honest to God decisions.
That's the main difference between like old mass market games and newer ones, is that you actually have some thought points.
They're games
and things you can
they're like legit games. So yeah, it's very light, you know, it's fun, but like if you love Pusheen, if you have kids and families, stuff like that, it's like it's a good little pickup, and honestly because it's a good little game. You know? But
it's super solid. Pusheen the cat. Perfect pick. Very nice.
Ooh,
very nice.
Ooh. The banger.
Move right along. He didn't care for it. Nick didn't care for it. Boone Lake, the new Alexander Pfister game, carried over here by Capstone Games, who's just like crushing it right now with
They
the
really
games
are.
they choose
With the heavy
to kinda
games.
carry.
Yeah.
On that heavier side of things. So Boone Lake's a game where you are kind of exploring these lands and stuff and building up your little houses and settlements and stuff. So it's got this cool action selection system. It's got this cool thing where if it's my turn, I choose one of the actions, and then Nick is going to be able to do something on that.
Yeah, it's kind of like a follow-ish action.
Kind of a follow-ish action. So that's something that I think is always really fun because everyone is engaged with the game.
You're doing
constantly.
something on every single turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're basically, all of it comes down to like playing out these cards, which are going to give you sometimes one-time boons, got it?
Boom. Also sometimes on a lake.
ongoing abilities like discounts on certain types of actions or certain
Mostly
types
a
of
river
things.
on the board, not so much a lake.
Yeah. I mean, I guess at the very bottom, it's a pond. Boone Pond. Doesn't have the same ring to it.
Not quite as good.
And you're trying to kind of get the board explored, put your little people out and stuff, get cattle going, and then the more you kind of empty your board of stuff by putting out those houses and things, you generate more and more income, which will be points, cards, and money. Everything kind of comes down to points, cards, and money.
Makes sense.
And it's just really fun. It scratches a lot of the itches for us, I think, where you kind of build up this production and stuff, and it kind of, you feel like you grow throughout the game, and so it's just satisfying. So fun.
I was
like
expecting
kind
to
of
like
tailor
it.
made for us.
Yeah, I was expecting to like it. I liked it so much to the point where I'm like, already, I'm kind of like, yeah, I think it's going to be my favorite Fister as of right now. I think it's outstanding. I think it's so good. I love the look of it. I just like what you're doing in it. I love the kind of follow action. There's so many different cards and so many different ways to like boost up so many different things you could go for. I don't know. I absolutely, you're going down this river, and so you can really like push the end of the game, because when you take a tile, you can get to go down the river a certain amount depending on which tile you take. And so you can really blitz down the river and like kind of end the game quicker. So I like games where the players can kind of choose when to end the game, because I think it's an interesting mechanic and stuff like that. I really love it. I thought it was so darn outstanding, and I want to play it again so badly.
So my people in chat are saying that Boone Lake's been getting hype, but they're not very interested. I am curious about this. Like, I feel like no one's talking about it. So I'm like, oh, is this like?
I think it got a lot of buzz at Essen, and then it's like, and then Ark Nova kind of went
Ark Nova kind of took over,
and then everyone's talking about Ark Nova. I think it's outstanding. I think it's gonna be my favorite.
I really like it. It's a game that, again, does a lot of things that we like. So it's a perfect kind of game for us. So we are big fans.
It's a little long. That's the only thing I can say. I would want to play it at 2 players specifically, because it's quite a long game. But I thought it was so darn good.
Fun though. It does all sorts of fun things. We played Founders of Teotihuacan.
Yes, which we had played once before.
We played online,
which we played during like Board and Dice Con of like last year. We just had another Board and Dice Con here where we played it again. Actually, I guess both times we played Board and Dice Con. Yeah. This is set in the Teotihuacan universe, but it's nothing like Teotihuacan
It's set in the events prior to Teotihuacan. It's not at all,
you're basically just building up the city and like the pyramid and stuff like that. But it's got this really interesting way of like gathering resources and putting out buildings and stuff.
So you basically can put down these, it's a tile laying game with all these polyomino tiles, and you can put down these resource production buildings that are gold, wood, or stone.
Shocker.
And when you pop them down, basically every empty orthogonally adjacent space to that tile you place will produce a resource. And that's the resource that you then use to build temple tiles, pyramid tiles. And that's really kind of it. So it's this idea of like, you want to place those production buildings sort of in empty space, so they produce as many resources as possible, but that's also not super efficient in terms of like building in a compact way. So you kind of
don't have that much space around the pyramid.
So you kind of want to put those down and then kind of fill them in. So you have to really kind of think about that, and it's pretty crunchy for a kind of tile laying.
Well, and all your resource buildings don't score you any points.
They don't do anything for you. They just fuel the stuff that you actually get that actually scores you points.
So it's basically kind of like an efficiency engine, which we like efficiency engine games, because you basically at the end of the game want to try to have like no resources, which means you put down the perfect amount of
you didn't waste time
resource buildings. And sometimes we play this game and I'm like, cool, I have like 10 wood left and 3 gold and 4 stone. That means I spent a bunch of time put down these buildings that I ended up not needing, basically not using. And so it's a very interesting, I really liked it a lot. I thought it was very cool.
Yeah, and it's interesting. So you get these temple tiles, and then basically they go into these 4 quadrants, and then you build up a pyramid in the middle with these other tiles that are basically going to match the colors of the different temples. So you want to line everything up so that where you have a bunch of red pyramid tiles, you have a bunch of red temples, because that'll score 2 points per, and you can really work that in a way that's very valuable available.
Yeah, and you have an architect that's moving around your board, so on each turn,
where you can build.
You can only ever build on the side the architect is on, and so you have to plan ahead, because there's so often, like, I'm going to do this, you're like, no, my architect's on the other side of the town, I can't do that.
In 2 turns,
And it's a tough little puzzle, but it's fun.
Yeah. It's really cool. This is a game that I think definitely benefits from playing twice. Because I think the first game you're going to be like, oh, okay, and then by the end of the first game, you're like, I see how I could have done things better. And we found it to be much more enjoyable in the second game because I started to see it like, oh, okay.
After the first game, I was like, I don't know how much I liked that. And then we played again, I'm like, oh no, I actually like it a lot.
If you play this one and you're like a little iffy after the first, give it a second shot.
Give it a second shot.
Highly recommend.
So that's Founders of Teotihuacan.
Yes, quite good. Another board and dice game. Lost Ruins of Arnak.
And we streamed this for CGE. We played with the expansion, which, by the way, just get the expansion. It's incredible. I never ever want to go back.
Yeah, I would say it's essential. I wouldn't want to play this anymore without the expansion.
No. I think I like the base game a lot, but the expansion just adds variable player powers. Great, perfect. And then just more variability in terms of like the sites you can go to, new research tracks. I'm like, cool. It's all good stuff, more cards. I'm like, great. Like, let's just go ahead and grab it, because I do think, like any deck builder, best thing you can do is have everyone start with a different deck, and this is what that does. I really like Lost Ruins of Arnak. It's still my favorite game of 2020. And then this now just solidifies that with the expansion. The expansion is great. I mean, it's absolutely outstanding.
It pumps some new blood into it. I was getting, I think, kind of the point of where I was a little done with Lost Ruins of Arnak, and this has kind of pumped new energy into it. So, like I said, I don't have much interest in playing without the expansion anymore, but I think the expansion has extended its life for me.
That's fair.
But it's quite good. Quite good game.
Yeah, totally. I really like it. I think it's outstanding. And again, if you have Lost Ruins, you like it, just get the expansion. I think
go for it straight away. You won't be
you can just start it. It's also not complex enough where you can't just like teach people it right off the bat.
Exactly.
A game that I was interested in because Aldi from Board Game Geek was talking about it a bunch, but it's just like, it's a Reiner Knizia game called Witchstone, and I'm always like, I like Reiner Knizia games a lot, but I'm always like, okay,
I'm not gonna perk up for Reiner Knizia made a game because like that happens all the time. So I'm like, oh, whatever. But this one, I was like, ooh,
yeah. Witchstone is so good. If you like games with a lot of combos, you will probably like Witchstone. It's a game that's just combos on combos on combos on combos. We're gonna have a game house coming out about it sometime soon here.
Yeah,
probably within a month or so.
Done and ready to go.
It's good to go. But yeah, so this is a game where you are witches and you're basically, you have your own little cauldron, and you're putting out these little kind of like hexamino tiles, so like little dominoes but hexes, and you're putting them in your cauldron, and each side of the hex will have a different action you can do, and you'll do both of those actions after you put it down. But if you put like, there's like a witch action, but if you put it next to other witch actions, you basically will do as many witch actions as there are connected witch things.
You get kind of a bigger...
You kind of put these big clumps in your cauldron, these actions, so you can really build them up. But then it's just like, for a witch action, you get to put a witch out on the main board and then move them to a new site. And then there's a chit on that site that will give you like 2 energy actions. So you pick up the chit, then you get 2 energy actions. But those energy actions now allow you to do this. And that then allows you to do this. And now you can move this crystal over here.
Chain together some craziness.
Oh my gosh. Every single game, there's always at least 1 or 2 people who have a turn that's just like, whoa, like holy crap. Like, okay, I got this. Now I can do these 2 actions. Now that allows me to do these other 2 actions. And it's just combos on combos on combos on combos on combos. And it's really, really quick, the game. It's like 30 minutes, 45 with a higher player count probably.
Yeah.
But super simple. It's Reiner Knizia, so it's not like heavy. But it's just like, it is so much fun.
It's a very satisfying game. It does a lot of cool stuff, and it's got a cool theme to it as well. So I'm like,
and again, it's just combos on combos on combos. You want a game that we're going to like, give us a lot of combos. I really, really love combos.
It makes me feel accomplished, even if I don't win. I'm like, I did something really neat.
Yeah, you're like, cool, I did this cool thing. Yeah. So that's kind of the best part. Is like, you get like, I did something cool in this game. Witchstone's really, really good. I like it a lot.
It's so solid.
Ooh.
All right, so now Nick.
To be fair, I didn't play this.
You didn't play this
February.
In February.
So I'm not going to talk because
I'm
in the mindset of someone in February who doesn't know anything about this game.
This point has now played it. So Nick's going to talk about it. What do you think of Ark Nova?
I don't know. I've never played it.
Yes, you have.
I've never played it. It's about a zoo, I think.
All right. Nick played it technically in March, and he's just going to be a butt. He loved it. I'll spoil it for you. Really it's really good, right?
It's really,
it's got a great action selection system. That for me is my favorite part. I just like cycling the actions and waiting for something to get built up to the strongest possible version. Yeah. Then doing it, the
card action selection is outstanding.
Yeah, it's so cool. And then the card.
I mean, from what I hear,
the card play from what you've read. Yeah, you've watched lots of reviews and stuff. The card play and stuff is interesting. I love getting the animals in. I like the theme of it. I like that,
the theme is great.
As Nick said after he played it,
I don't know what you're talking
about. He talked about one thing that's really fun is that it borrows from a lot of other games. It's got DNA from other games in it, and it makes something that is really stellar as a result. I mean, it's many flavors brought together to make a nice dish. You got kind of the tracks from Rajas of the Ganges that cross and time out the game. So you've got the balance of appeal, which is like awesome, cool looking stuff in your zoo, which sells tickets, and then working on conservation projects, which is something I really love about zoos. Is that all zoos now are really like conservation focused and
hopefully, most of the good ones,
almost all of them. I know some people are turned off by the zoo theme, but I'm like, I got no problem personally with zoos because all the zoos that are good, and not all of them are, but like all the ones that are good are like super focused on conservation and rehabbing animals and focused on
trying to rebuild
saying, hey, let's maybe not cut down every forest because animals live there. Which is cool. So the theme for me, like, this is a home run. I love it.
Yeah, no, from what I hear, it's really, really good. And I think my guess is when I do play it is that I will really, really like it, but I was expecting to like it, you know? So it's one of the things that, like, because we played a couple new games at Dinosaur West, but in Ark Nova was one of them. I haven't gotten, I'm assuming I'm going to play a couple different games, probably Batoku and other kind of stuff. But I was expecting to like Ark Nova, so it didn't like splash, I think, as hard as I think it was going to, because I was going into it.
But it did live up, I think, for me, it lived up to the hype.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, this is great. But I was expecting it to be great. Where there's a couple other games where I was like, I don't really know how I'm going to feel about this game, and then I really liked it. So it's like, after coming, or what I assume after coming back from Dinosaur West, maybe it wasn't the highlight of it because I was expecting to like it, but it is really, really, really good.
Yeah, and people are saying they want Ark Nova to arrive in stores and stuff. We did too. We pre-ordered it, and then it was going to arrive on the 17th of March, and now it's going to arrive early May. So, you know, that's how it is. That's how it goes.
Yeah.
But it's not stopping the hype at all.
Ark Nova is really outstanding.
Lives up to the hype.
Yeah, it's really good.
Played a game in Cascadia.
We did. Very last game we played of the month. We played it over on Gen Con. Boom. Actually, I'm double Gen Con.
Double Gen Con.
Right. Over on Gen Con, we started streaming on Gen Con again.
Be there.
And so we started playing Cascadia for the first one. So let's have an easy game, but that's really, really good. And man, Cascadia is so dang good. It's just like, it is seriously one of the best.
I enjoy it every single time.
Of that weight of game, it's just so good. Like,
agreed.
Oh my gosh. This is a game where you have various landscape tiles, and you'll draft a landscape tile in a type of animal, either like a fish, a hawk, a bear, a fox, or a elk. Is that it?
You got it.
Boom. Nailed it. And so
and a corgi.
Boom, exactly. They don't do much, but they're really cute. They get cute points. So you're drafting a pair of them. So you put the tile out in your ever-growing landscape, and you want to match landscapes to get points if you can, you know, typical stuff. And then the landscapes can house different animals. So if you put the animal tile on one of those, and you basically, depending on the scoring cards, you're going to be scoring those animals. Like bears might want to be like, you want to have a group of 1 bear, a group of 2 bear, and a group of 3 bear, and that'll score you a certain amount of points. Elk might want to be like in a big line. Fish might want to be in a line. Hawks might want to be separate from each other. There's just all different kinds of scoring stuff. So you're just building this out, trying to score as many points as possible.
Trying to make sure that all the animals are happy with their adjacency to everything else.
And that's it. It's just, you draft a tile, you draft an animal, you place them down, you're trying to score. That's it. It's a game that honestly I think you could teach to maybe not like brand new gamers, but it's close. It's so simple in terms of what you're doing.
Well, that's what I like about this, is there's the openness of like, you want to match landscapes if you can, but you do not have to.
No.
So it's as simple as like, place this hex next to something else. Done. Everyone can understand that.
Just do that.
If you see a salmon on any tile, you can put that salmon on that tile.
It's
very
easy,
intuitive.
as long as it's not already an animal.
Now, maybe where you want to put stuff, that's some strategy stuff, but it's not hard to understand.
The game, I really think, I don't think it's harder to pick up than something like Carcassonne. Honestly, and like that's considered one of our best gateway games ever, and I agree. So like Cascadia, I think is so good. Yeah. Oh my gosh, I just never ever get tired of playing it. I really don't.
Same. It's just very satisfying. What we got next?
This
is beautiful. Look at those animals.
And remember, we're gonna do a Q&A after we're done doing all the reviews. So if you have any questions, think of them.
Absolutely. In the meantime, we'll talk about Castles of Tuscany.
Yeah, this is a game.
We haven't played this for a little minute.
It's been a little minute. I was talking to Jabs about this. I think I was talking to Jabs about this at Dinosaur World.
Probably will.
I'm not sure because I haven't been there yet. And so, and he was saying he didn't really like it. And I was like, oh man, I really enjoy. Every time we play it, I'm always like, I really enjoy Castles of Tuscany.
It's just satisfying. It's like, it goes down smooth enough. It's quick enough. It's easy enough that like, I'm always left with like, oh, that was awesome. Like, it's not going to be a top 10 game for me, but I don't need Castles of Tuscany to be that. I love it for what it is.
Yeah.
If you want some vibes of Castles of Burgundy, there's obviously the same designer.
Set collection.
It's a ton of DNA. of like the things you put down onto your little estate.
This one green.
Yeah, but like I like that it uses the card play, and it's very easy. You basically on a turn, you're gonna draw some cards, you're gonna play some cards to play a tile down, or you can reserve a tile. That's it. You have to reserve a tile first before you play it, and like those are the actions. And then when you place down different things in your state, similar to Castles of Burgundy, they will trigger some kind of bonus, or they will do something for you. You are completing areas of the same color, so it's just very like this would be a great way to like play this first and then play Castle of Burgundy.
Yes,
because then people will be like,
it's
I
definitely
remember
lighter,
this from that.
Sure,
like
yeah.
it's much lighter and easier. So Castle of Tuscany, I think is fantastic.
I think it's great. Again, I think Castle of Burgundy is a better game, but like this one is lighter. It's easier to teach. I think.
Yeah.
And like I really like it. I like it feels like a cousin of Castle of Burgundy, but it doesn't feel like the exact same game. It feels definitely like its own thing. And I really like it. I think it's outstanding. I like the kind of dual scoring you're doing. I think is really cool.
You kind of build up a point income. So you
get
exactly. Kind of every round you will have a bigger score than the round previous.
I really like it. I just think it's really, really great. Yeah, I think it's a slam dunk.
Full marks from us. Castle of Tuscany is a banger.
Correct.
Pull that line.
What we got coming up here?
We got some Tea for Two, which we also had not played in a minute. We still have our
yeah, you kind of let's play this night. I was like,
yeah. Because I was like, you know what? I've been feeling like making some tea. And Chai Tea for Two is a two-player.
We were almost guaranteed to be drinking coffee
100%.
during that game.
Always. But
not coffee right now.
It's a hot beverage. Chai Tea for Two is a two-player kind of follow-up to Chai. So it's not the same game in terms of like what you're doing. It's set in the past and stuff where you're basically farming tea. And you are producing various types of tea, and you're basically moving up your player board, and there's lots of cards you can get that kind of boost how fast things raise up to the top. Because when they get to the top, they can go to a dock and then ultimately go on a ship, which then ships, and that's going to be your main hit of points, and that's also what times out the game. And so it's this really fun game of trying to get these cards built around your farm that will then, again, boost up the different tea types. I think there's like 6 tea types.
I think so, yeah.
It's just a fun game that's like one of those games that like Chai is very light. It's a kind of contract fulfillment game. And this one is a two-player game that is actually heavier than Chai. It's not to say that it's a heavy game, but there's a lot more to it.
Kind of like Seven Wonders Duel is heavier than Seven Wonders. It's like, it's a heavier game for sure.
Yeah, which is cool. And I
like it more than Chai.
Yeah, me too. And it's beautiful. Like the same like art style as Chai. And I'm like, man, Steep Games is just making like absolutely beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I really like Chai Tea for Two. I think it's really fun. The kind of like ladder system of how you get your tea up, I think is really, really cool. Yeah, I think it
does a lot while being fairly quick and stuff still, and
not super heavy. It's just heavier than Chai, which is very light.
There's a solo mode I want to try. Yeah, Chai Tea for Two, and that cover is like one of the best.
I know, it's very, very good.
Cool.
You played Codenames.
I played some Codenames. I joined the Codenamation with Tim. Shay and I were a team against Danny Standring and her husband Tad.
Hubby.
And we played some Codenames. And Tim Real on Twitch makes it a whole game show. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And so we won the episode. No big no. And just Codenames is like, obviously we play like mostly Codenames duet because we can play a 2-player.
There's a reason why it's as popular as it is.
Good.
Yes, it's really good.
It's just so solid.
Yeah.
It's so solid. So we got to play, and one thing that was really fun is after kind of winning the episode, we played speed rounds. We have 7 seconds to come up with a clue and type it all in and stuff. And then the longer that your teammate is guessing and stuff, it gives your opponents more time. And so the speed play was actually really fun because you realize like you can come up with stuff quicker than you think. We often overthink stuff in the game, you know? And Codenames is just like, it's beautifully simple. It's just a great word guessing game.
It's popular for a reason. And duet's our favorite. Yeah, as Jordan said, duet's pretty good as well. Yeah, duet's our favorite for sure. I think duet knocks it out of the park.
We love playing on stream because it's 2 of us playing, but the chat can all like chime in. Like, I think you're going for Castle.
I think duet's incredible, but they're all good. Like, there's a reason why they're as popular as they are. I mean, I don't need like Simpsons Codenames and this Codenames.
No, there's a billion.
I don't need that. But it's like Codenames duet and Codenames. They're popular for a reason. They're outstanding. I think Codenames is so good.
Yeah, every time I play it, I'm like, this is just fun. I always enjoy myself.
We finally got to play a game of Dinosaur World. Shouts out to Quicksand, who turned in channel points for us to play this on our stream. Because we had played, I've been wanting to play it really bad, and we played like kind of like a half a game before
like a little
stream at one point.
half game demo.
And so we finally got a chance to like full out play. We picked it up at PAX Unplugged. And then we got it, and I really, really like it. I like it. It's definitely, I like it a lot more than Dinosaur Island. Mike, I feel like you've cooled on Dinosaur Island a lot. I still like Dinosaur Island a lot, but now I'm like, Dinosaur World is out. I'm like, cool, I probably don't need to play Dinosaur Island anymore, because Dinosaur World does all the stuff I like in Dinosaur Island, the collecting DNA and like drafting the dice and like building the dinosaurs, but then it adds like a park tour, which I really feel like should have been in Dinosaur Island, honestly. Like the fact that the park part of Dinosaur Island is kind of like an afterthought, it feels like, is weird.
It's odd now, and I think that's part of like why I cooled on Dinosaur Island, is just like, we played it a lot over the years.
We did.
And like it's so abstract in Dinosaur Island. I'm like, it's weird that like we have all these things and it's just sort of like, place it wherever, it doesn't matter. And in here it's like you can't put dinosaur paddocks next to each other because that would be dangerous. And as you go on your tour, bad things can happen because there's wild animals
and all the death happens. It's great. It's really, really good. I like it a lot. We have that. We also got the Rarin, right, which is kind of like a mix in Dinosaur Island and Dinosaur World, a little bit more towards Dinosaur World. So it's great because it's like, it's kind of like a quicker version of Dinosaur World in a lot of different ways. Right. So I think the Rarin will probably be my favorite of all of them. And then Dinosaur World, and then probably Duelosaur, which I do like a lot. And then Dinosaur Island will probably last, unfortunately, at this point. But like, I really like Dinosaur World. I thought it was cool. It's really big. I think it's too large. It's like, we have a really pretty big table here.
It fills it.
And a 2-player game, we can like barely fit
I don't know how you would do like a 4-player game.
It is very large. Yeah. And so, but I really like, it's gorgeous. I thought it's outstanding. I thought it's a good, better sequel to Dinosaur Island, for sure.
Agreed.
For sure.
Best of Star Trek was asking, how can we get Chai Tea for 2? It's not available yet. Their Kickstarter has not fulfilled, but it will be soon.
Should be, hopefully,
Dinosaur Island, I think, is my lowest now. Duelosaur above it. Dinosaur World is the top. But
really?
Duelosaur Island is... Oh, man. Oh, the Roaring Ray. Dang.
Those two are probably pretty
might be the top.
Me too. It might be the top too.
Anyway.
We played Forbidden Desert. We played Forbidden Desert with
for the first time in a long time.
Yes, with Paula and Matthew. We actually started a new Twitch channel, which will be starting up this week, called Blunderbuss. And so twitch.tv/blunderbuss.tv. And so we played, so it's kind of a joint channel between us two and then Paula and Matthew, Paula Demi and Matthew Jude. If you don't know, check them out. They're amazing. And so the first thing we did was play Forbidden Desert over on Sovereignty.
We gotta see if we work together well.
We gotta see if we hate each other. We don't, which is great. And Forbidden Desert is kind of like similar to Pandemic in a lot of ways, but
same
essentially
designer and stuff,
it's
DNA.
A sequel to Forbidden Island, where your flying machine is crashed. You have to go to the desert and essentially dig it out and then put it back together and then fly away. And this is a game that is super, super difficult, but it's got a really cool moving sandstorm that constantly is shifting around the kind of grid
dumping
of tiles.
Sand on all the tiles you're trying to explore.
Dumping sand everywhere. And I really, really like it.
It's really fun. It's it's got that good, difficult win ratio. You're not going to win every time. We lost badly.
It was not close.
And you really have a lot of things to think of, but it's fairly easy to understand. Like you have, I think, 4 types of things you can do on a turn. You have 4 actions. You can move, you can dig up sand, you can explore a tile. And basically that's it. So it's one of those, how do people it's a disaster mitigation game.
The
sandstorm's moving all around and maybe you want to get to this tile and then all of a sudden gets buried. And so you're always dealing with what the game is doing to you. And kind of trying to overcome that, and you ultimately need to find all the parts of your ship to reassemble them, and then you fly off.
But it's
in success.
I feel like
or
it feels
in our case,
more
defeat.
Truly cooperative than something like Pandemic, because you have water that you can share with people, you can share gear, and so I feel like you do have to work together a little bit more than Pandemic.
The gear cards you uncover, I think, are really great and make the game good. So it's a fun way to play it on Sovereignty. Sovereignty works really well. If you haven't tried it, it's kind of like the midpoint between a Board Game Arena and Tabletopia, where there's all the things that are scripted, but you're kind of
better
around
than Board Game Arena.
Sovereignty's done really cool stuff. They have Isle of Cats now, Dice Miner. And Forbidden Desert works super well on
it works really well. They just added Dice Miner. I'm really excited to try it. Really excited to try it. So that was Forbidden Desert.
We played some Le Havre.
And I'll tell you, Le Havre is pushing up my favorite games list. I think it's already my top 10. I honestly do.
So good.
Le Havre is so freaking good. So we actually just had a game house for this come out this week as the day of recording this. And Mike destroyed us. I'll bear that. It was very bad for me. But nonetheless, I love Le Havre. Le Havre is so good. So this is a game where you're building buildings and collecting resources,
stuff, building up the town around this harbor.
But it's really, really cool because you essentially have all these buildings that you can like build and put out, and the buildings are just like either getting resources or turning resources into upgrade resource, kind of that stuff. But one thing I like about the game is the turns are so darn quick. You move your boat and you refill a couple of the docks, the supply docks, and then you can either use a building or take a dock, resources from the dock.
From one of the areas.
So take all the wood. And so it's quick. I'm going to boom, add this, and I'm going to take all the wood. Mike's turn. He go, boom, I'm going to use this building. Boom, my turn. And you go back and forth. Boom, 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 boom. Really, really quick. And I like it a lot. What the cool thing is you have like, I don't know, 15, 18 buildings that are always in the game. But then you have special buildings.
Yeah.
Of which you're only going to use like 4 or 5. And those are like really cool buildings. And there's a stack like this big of them.
I know.
And
getting
so
through them
every game, there's always like, whoa, that's a crazy looking building. Like, what does that one do? This one does this and this and this. And so every game feels different because of those special building cards. But then the rest is like familiar enough where you can kind of still build strategies around it. And I just think, man, it's like, I think it's pushing top 5 already. I think it's so, I like it so much. It's so ridiculous.
It's so good. We're obviously very late to the party. This game from all the way down to 2008, but like we finally got to try it. Shouts out to Monique and Naveen from Before You Play because I was
just
like,
in general, they're the
had
best.
the app and couldn't like, I just didn't understand in the tutorial. I just didn't get it. And then I saw them start playing it on their channel, and they have such a good channel. You should follow them.
Yeah.
Subscribe. And then I saw them playing it, and then it immediately clicked. I was like, oh, I get it. Like, it's very simple. Like, you can make this action, and it tells you exactly what you get or what you trade. Take all the stuff from, and I was like, cool, let's go. And then never look back. It's so fun. So fun. Classic
It's
game.
so good.
You the best. Lahav.
Best starter said, any desire to play Fium? Fium is right there. And it's outstanding. So yes, it's outstanding. Give it a shot. It's very weird.
Really enjoy Fium a lot. Really good.
Okay. Ooh, Onibuzz.
Onibuzz. We played some Honey Buzz.
Playthrough of this coming out on Monday.
It is coming out on the Game House
Check it out.
this upcoming Monday. Honey Buzz is like such a beautiful, amazing production. The art and stuff is so
good.
Just satisfying. It's beautiful. It's so good. And I love the puzzliness of this game. You are trying to produce honey and stuff to sell to animals and stuff. You're literally getting into bee economics.
They keep stealing my honey, Mike.
And
so I might as well make them pay for it.
You know, grease those wheels and get some cash off of that. And so in this one, it's cool because you're going to put out 1 or more workers to acquire a hive tile, which is like another hexamino.
Hexaminos, let's go, baby.
Which you then add to your growing hive. And every time you complete a cell, so basically you leave a void, you know, a 6 hex void, you get to do all the actions around that. So this is awesome spatial puzzle and like,
it's a really interesting action selection system.
Yeah, the timing of everything is like, okay, now I'm gonna put this, complete that cell. I have 4 actions. You can do them in whatever order you choose. You can get new bees. You can produce honey. You can go forage to get nectar tiles to then be able to produce that honey, take stuff to the market and sell it or fulfill contracts. There's a lot of fun things to do, and you're ultimately trying to make the most money. So I love the world of this game.
Yes.
You just bees trying to like get that
fun,
cash.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and it's like pretty simple game. It's pretty easy to like get behind. It's just so cool, and it's like one of the best covers in the game.
It's
beautiful. Look at how gorgeous
it's legitimately one of the most beautiful games ever made.
It's really, really fun. I like it so much.
I'm super excited to see the expansion. You know, I remember seeing that during the Kickstarter and like what it's going to bring to the game and you know all the autumn vibes. I'm just like, let's go, man. Like, let's go. It's my favorite Elf Creek game.
Ever go follow Jenna Rose in chat? She has a wonderful YouTube channel. Yeah, Honey Buzz is outstanding. It's
high marks from us.
Ooh, I finally got to play this game.
Played this many times. There's a Game Dash Park, which is another kind of board game arena that has this. And this is a card drafting game. What did you finally think of It's a Wonderful World?
I really like it. So this is...
I think it's great.
I think it's great too. This is it's a drafting kind of tableau building game. There's lots of them. This one just does it very well. It's very quick. It moves fast, especially with 2 players. Yeah, it just works well, but it's like, it's not honestly that special in terms of like what it's doing. It's just you're drafting cards, putting them in there, some cards, and then those cards get you resources, you use those resources to put in cards. That's the game, but it just works well. I'm always kind of like hit or miss on draft games. Like I like drafting, but especially in a game like this where like, so often with drafting, one of the reasons I don't like it is because it so heavily favors people who already know the game. Like if you're like,
if you're familiar with the types of cards.
I know what this card does. This card is really good. I'm going to draft that one. But if you don't know, so that's why I don't generally like drafting games as much unless I already know the game. But this one, it's like you're just getting resources and putting those resources to put in other cards to get endgame scoring and stuff. It's pretty easy. I really, really liked it. I'm really excited for It's a Wonderful Kingdom, which is a specifically
It's like
two-player version.
like I Split You Choose.
Yes,
game,
and
I'm like,
let's 2 snaps
go.
up, let's go. I'm here for it. I did really like it. It's cool. I'm just excited I got to play it finally. I don't think it's ever going to be like my favorite game, but I like it a lot. And I think
it's so fun though, because it gets a lot done in a short period of time.
It's cool. It's really, really cool. And I'm really excited to play.
We have to try the expansion stuff. We have the War and Peace and then Corruption and Ascension, I think.
Shouts out to Lucky Duck Games.
Our sponsor for providing that. Bam, they carry it over here. So shouts out. Yeah, It's a Wonderful World is one that I wanted you to try because I was like, you can let it run. I was just like, this is something that I think is just really solid, and happily finally got to play it together. Cora, Rise of an Empire. Nick, bumping tracks, the board game.
It really is. There's not much else.
There's so many tracks to bump.
There's so many tracks
to bump up the tracks.
Mike and I love bumping tracks. We're gonna have a bumping tracks
comedy track.
Yeah.
Tax track. Yeah, we're gonna get it straight. It says bumping tracks.
Because that's what we love to do. We love to bump tracks.
So in Cora, Rise of an Empire, you're a city-state in ancient Greece, and you're like building up an army, building up an economy and stuff, and it's an action selection game where you're gonna roll these dice, which will kind of dictate what actions you can take without having to pay extra stuff. You can always take whatever actions if you can pay for it, but in this game, it's a kind of a tight money game, you know. But you're ultimately trying to play out these politics cards and develop your city-state and stuff, which will kind of give you your strategy in the game. Different city-states might be a little bit more lean toward.
And you do want to follow that strategy because that's what you're good at, right?
Yeah. You kind of lean into that and you get these politics cards, which will further impact what you do because they have cards that will do like a one-time thing, give you an ongoing ability, or give you access to end-game scoring. So you can build some cool synergies with stuff where now when, I feel like last time we were playing, every time you did a trade action, you got to do all this extra stuff because you played out some of those politics cards. So these actions become stronger. And it's really this fun puzzle of figuring out like how to use your money, what tracks to bump to kind of give you benefits in certain areas of the games, and usually again trying to tie that to whatever city-state you have. Man, this game is dumb fun to me.
I really like it a lot.
I think this game is so fun.
I think it's good. I think
we like bumping tracks. So
we
again,
do like
this is a game that does stuff for us. I'm like, these are the things that I like to see.
Enjoy. Yeah.
It's like it feels like it was made for me.
And again, by the end of the game, because of those politic cards you get to put out, you're playing, you get good at stuff, you know, and you get kind of, you differentiate yourself from the other players. And on top of that, your city-state also differentiates from the other players. So that's really, really cool. And depending on what cards you get, what cards you play out, you are kind of playing a different game. My only beef with Cora is like, this is a really gorgeous cover and the card art is really gorgeous and the board is just like beige. It's just the most boring board.
It feels like they went for like functionality,
which
I can appreciate, but I'm like, you could have done like a little bit of like where it's like not really clear, but like the background is clearly some sort of image.
Something. That's my only beef. Other than that, I really love the game. I just think this cover is great.
They went a little more functional than they probably needed to do.
Yes.
I appreciate that I can see very clearly what stuff is, but you go a little more. Because the art that they have is good.
It's good. It's really good. I think the cover's outstanding, and it's just like, the board, that's really, other than I really like it.
The game.
It is very beige.
It says bumps those tracks, BB.
Mikey, you got to play this.
I played Lord of the Rings LCG.
First time in a long time.
First time in a hot minute. And I still really like it, but it was one of those things that my buddy, our buddy, is all in on Marvel Champions. My friend specifically is all in on Marvel Champions, which is obviously a follow-up, a cousin to Lord of the Rings LCG, Ark Nova, the card game. It's a lifestyle game. And so he has wanted to play Lord of the Rings LCG to see like, how similar is it to Marvel Champions? And the answer is like, they're pretty different. But we got a chance to play it, but it was one that I was like, I really got to relearn a lot of just how, like what's the order of stuff in a round. And then we played it, and it's a good game,
It's good.
It's really fun.
It's fun.
I feel like
it's also kind of disaster mitigation.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
Because you draw out crows and this and that, and you're like, okay, I got to deal with this. It's brutal.
Yeah, it's hard.
We were talking about this, that the main difference between like Lord of the Rings LCG and Marvel Champions is Lord of the Rings feels like a survival game.
Yes,
you're just trying to survive and mitigate as best you can to like make it to the end.
You're trying to make it out of the scenario.
Trying to make it out of the scenario. It's like, can I just hang on long enough to make it over here?
Yeah, that's really what it is.
Which is fun, but like and this is, I think, why we end up slowing down on this one and everything, is that like I can't play multiple scenarios of this in a row. I can't do it. It's
hard.
too brutal.
Yeah.
Marvel Champions, which is smart because you're playing superheroes, you feel like a superhero.
Yeah,
like you get to do some cool stuff. Yeah, and I feel like that one is a better game because it succeeds in its premise more. This one, it works. You're going against Sauron and stuff. Like, so it should be tough, but it's like, it's fun, but I'm like, man, it's brutal. You just get wrecked.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of this we haven't played with because it's just like, oof, it's tough. And then you spend so much time building decks and stuff, which is just, we just don't generally put that much time.
They really are those lifestyle games. So it's like, if you commit to it, you dig into it, like there's so much to mine. Yeah. But these types of games are just hard for us to do because we just don't have time.
Indeed. Played Mountains of Molehills. We just had a game house for this come out as well. I'll tell you right now, I really like Mountains over Molehills. I think it's super fun game. It's this cool like 3D game where you are moles and you're on the bottom, you're floor, you're underground, you're digging out stuff. And it's a programming game where you are drafting programming cards. And then the cards will be like, go forward, turn to the right, go forward. And basically what you're doing is you are just moving around the bottom. And what you're doing is as you're moving, you're pushing dirt up to the top board. And you're pushing it up from the bottom up. And basically what you're trying to do is an area control game on top where you're essentially trying to control all of the different like dirt piles that are on top of this thing. And you do that by programming yourself around and basically take control of these things. And the higher the dirt pile at the end of the round, the more valuable it is.
You want to control the biggest possible mountains.
Exactly. But they can also get big enough where they fall over and they fall over onto other dirt piles around and they can cause them to fall over. So it's this kind of balance where you're maneuvering around each other and trying to essentially just area control and take over each other's kind of territories, which are just dirt mounds. And I just think it's really cool. I think it works.
You're really good at this one, and I am very bad.
I'm better than Mike is at this game. And so I really like it. I think it's got a cool look in terms of the 3D board. I think thematically the 3D board makes a lot of sense. You're like, you're underneath and you're pushing up. So it's a gimmick, but the gimmick makes sense in that world.
I think they did their due diligence to make the gimmick thematically integrated, which is nice.
And then the programming is fun but pretty easy. And you kind of get in each other's way. I think a 4-player game of this, we played it at 2-player. And you still get each other's way. I think a 4-player game of this would be bananas.
You're just on a bigger grid, but I gotta imagine that it would be, by the time it gets back to your turn, who knows what the world looks like, so it'd be very hard to plan, which might be fun to play in that chaos.
Yeah,
but
I really, really like this game.
Yeah. It's a rare non-IP based game from the op, which they don't do very often, but they really dug the kind of the strategy and stuff in this. So this is like, I dare say, for the op, on their heavier end of the spectrum and stuff, but it's not a heavy game.
No, it's still a family game.
But it's a bit different for them.
Yeah, I really, really like it. I think it's really good. I think it's outstanding, honestly.
Yeah.
It's Mountains of Molehills.
Want to lose badly, play against Nick, because I did terribly.
Indeed. Played a little Point Salad.
Dude, filler on filler.
One of the best fillers.
So good. This is another one that we played on Sovereignty after we finished Forbidden Desert. Paula had not played Point Salad.
That's right.
And this is a great game because you can explain it in 40 seconds and then start playing
and be done in 10 minutes. Yep.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Great.
This is a set collection game where you're going to have different vegetables. You have those 6 vegetables you see right there before you, and you are going to, there's a tableau of 6 vegetables and then 3 scoring cards on top. And on your turn, you simply take any 2 vegetables from that tableau of 6, or you take 1 of the scoring cards. And that's it. The scoring cards are going to give you points. If you have, for every 2 carrots you have, you get 5 points.
You have a tomato, a cabbage, and a
which direction I want to go.
We might have stopped.
We might have stopped.
Second.
Oh, we did.
Hold on. Hang on, everybody.
Hang on, everybody. Let's see if we've come back. Stand by.
Hey, we back?
Stand by.
That's weird. We've never had a disconnection here, right?
It looks like we're back. All right. So anyway, as I was saying about Point Salad, you are trying to get these different scoring cards and stuff that are going to be synergistic with what you've collected. Yeah. Sometimes they'll lose you points if you have certain vegetables. So at some point mid-game, you're like, I don't want any tomatoes.
Yep.
Those do nothing for me. They don't help me score points. They might lose me points. But it's just really simple. It's cute. You can play 2 to 6 players, and it's great at all those player counts because you use fewer or more cards and stuff. And it's just solid, and you can play it so quick. It's
as we say, it's a filler ass
filler. You got 10 minutes.
It's one of the best.
Filler ass.
It's one of the best filler ass fillers on the whole planet.
Love it.
We get some filler ass fillers in chat, please. It's so good.
Thanks for we say live for me. Okay, cool.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it seemed like it was weird for some people. Thanks for sticking around for that.
We played Radlands, Mike. You finally got a chance to play Radlands. We kept seeing it everywhere. I really love this kind of like the synthwave pink-blue aesthetic, this really punky aesthetic.
Kind of a Mad Max apocalyptic vibe, but it's got a lot of punk to it.
It's a 2-player head-to-head card game where you essentially are going to have these 3 essentially camps, is what they're called, 3 camps, and you're trying to destroy the other players' camps. You destroy all 3 of their camps, guess what? You win.
Yeah.
And so you that's what you're trying to do. And so what you're doing is you're getting these cards and you're paying with all the water is your currency in this game, which is, it's Mad Max kind of stuff, right? It's all water. So you're paying water to put out these cards, and then those cards can either attack the camps, protect your camps, do a whole bunch of different stuff. And you basically, your camps are in a little row of 3, and then you can put another row of 3 and another row of 3 of people. So you can kind of protect your camps because you have to hit the stuff in front.
Yeah, basically the thing that's close is if you're here, whatever's the first in line, they're the ones taking the hitting. So you got to kind of keep people in front.
It's very, very cool. It's a pretty simple game in terms of what you're doing, and it's a really cool game. The game we played of it, my only worry with this game is it's not very easy to draw cards. Like, it's not like a game where it's like at the end of a round you always draw 2 cards. It's not like that. You have to do stuff to draw cards, and that means in any card game, you can get hosed by your card draws, right?
Yeah.
And this game, because it's not necessarily easy to draw cards, I worry that you can get really hosed by your card draws, where the cards that I happen to draw weren't useful, because basically, like, the cards, I got like 2 or 3 of the exact same cards because there's repeats, and it was like, if I can hit a camp, if you have an unprotected camp, I can hit one of the camps.
And I had all my stuff protected.
The problem is all of them protected, so all these cards I had were worthless. They didn't do anything, and I couldn't even get rid of your other people to then make an unprotected camp. And so my only worry with this game, I think it's very cool, I think it's very interesting. My only worry is getting hosed by card draws.
Now, what you can do with those useless cards is you can use them for their junk effect.
That's true.
You can sometimes do damage or get more water and stuff.
Which I do like multi-use cards like that.
I feel like it's something where it's going to be like, don't be too precious about the cards you get. And one thing I want to check is, like, actually right there in the box, it said that here's the rules, but here's a link to a thing. This is a living document. And so what I wonder is, like, if there's been any errata
I don't know,
since we got our copy.
And like, you had a card that gave you an extra water each turn, and that is so powerful. So I was just like, and I didn't win. To be fair, I got close. I think I killed like 2 of your camps. So it wasn't like a blowout.
Yeah.
But that's my only worry with games like this.
More plays, I think, will let us know. But there's like all sorts of camps. And so basically, we played with the suggested first game camps, but you can...
and the camps do stuff.
Yeah, the camps do stuff, and there's a bunch more. And then ultimately, when you're playing, you'll just shuffle up and draw 3 to each. So the combinations of those camps, I think, is going to be something that's really interesting.
Yeah, like one of the camps I had, I could destroy it, but I killed everything on the board. It was all my people,
like a nuclear reactor or something.
It was wild. And so I was like, okay, because I got those cards that weren't really useful. So I was like, okay, boom, everything's gone.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely some interesting ways, and it's a pretty short game. It's like, it's like 20 minutes or so?
Chat was asking, how long?
Exactly.
It's maybe 20 minutes.
It's fast. Short.
You will definitely probably play multiple rounds.
Indeed. And I am definitely more forgiving of, like, luck in games if the game is short, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever, I got a bad card draw, let's go back again, right? I really did like it. I'm curious of, I want to play it some more. I want to see how much the card draw matters, really, is what it comes down to.
Yeah.
But I did like it. I really love the aesthetic. Look at this guy.
Yeah, the style,
I love it.
God,
it's so
cool.
good.
Just rad, pink, blue, like I said, synthwave.
Synthwave.
It's got solid vibes for sure.
Man, it had been a while since I played Raiders of the North Sea.
It's been a hot minute since you played, yeah.
We played with Mike's mother-in-law, who really loves this game.
Yeah, it's like one of her favorite games and stuff. So we played this. It'd been a long time. She won. She just crushed us all.
Yeah, crushing.
Raiders of the North Sea is a fantastic, still remains a fantastic worker placement game. A nice game that has like a nice flow to it, because you have the kind of 2 halves of the board. Up where you're doing raids and stuff, and you get a bunch of resources and things. And then the bottom half is where you kind of provision up. You get crew, you get money to pay for that crew, you get provisions and stuff to go on raids. Once you have your crew and your provisions and stuff, then you take you go on a jolly jaunt across the river, and burn a city down and take plunder from it and stuff. And then you kind of need to because maybe you'll lose some of your crew in that mission and stuff. Then you come on back and you kind of rebuild up, and then you go out. So that's this flow, this kind of ebb and flow of like, get stuff in town, go do a raid. Come back, get stuff in town, get stuff in town, go do a raid. And I really like the flow of that, and the whole fact that you only have 1 worker. But you get to do 2 actions, because you put a worker down, do that action, pick a worker up, do that action. So the double action 1 worker buy is cool.
It's cool.
It still remains cool.
It's very easy, very simple.
Fantastic game. Fantastic game. We just played the base game and stuff. We played expansion stuff a bit, and I would like to explore
Me too.
the Hall of Heroes, I think, expansion, whatever it is.
Mike, you played Small Islands, a little solo style.
Solo styled Small Islands, which is kind of like a Carcassonne vibe, where you're building these islands, and the tiles that you're placing out have to make sense. So land has to touch land, water to water, and such. And you were building all these islands that are going to basically have different types of iconography on them. There's kind of three. There's like arca leaves and dragon fruit and stuff that are going to be on the islands and temples and things. And every round, you're essentially going to have a mission where it's like you can score any islands that have these certain things, whether they're complete or not. So if it has a temple and 2 arca leaves, you can score that island. And you might get like 6 points, or you might get 2 points per arca leaf that's on that island. So you're kind of trying to create these islands that satisfy your mission from round to round, and that changes. And I kind of played an advanced game, which essentially gives you a mission and your reward are separated. If you're playing an easy game, you're going to get a card that has both on there, and that's just what it is. But you can create these infinite combos. You're like, ooh, if I use this mission and this reward, then I can really maximize. It gives you a little bit more to think about. But ultimately, the game is simple. It's placing these tiles down, building out these islands. And I played against an AI that would give them a base score to start. They had like 45 points, and they would get certain points for certain other things. And that was like the level 2 out of 6 difficulty, and I barely won. So I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Okay.
There's some room to grow there. Small Islands was awesome. It's similarly satisfying like a Carcassonne, but with the types of reward and mission that you have and stuff, there's a little bit more to think about there, and that changes from round to round. And I really enjoyed that, where it's like, okay, well, now maybe this island over here that I couldn't score before, maybe now it is something I can score based on my new mission card that I have. So
totally.
There's some fun decisions to be made. Small Islands was really solid. Again, scratches like a Carcassonne itch.
Yeah. Play a little Super Mega Lucky Box.
Super Mega Lucky Box.
This is a great little praise beat. Praise beat of Walker Harding. You know, we got to
Praise
praise
beat
beat
of
at least
Walker
once
Harding.
every Rapid Review's got a praise beat. Praise beat for Walker Harding. It's a great little game. It's a little roll and write. Kind of takes like
bingo style game.
Yeah, it's kind of bingo style
over
game.
a 9. Anyone got a 9?
Yeah, so basically you have a couple different cards, and the cards will have a bunch of different numbers on them. And then you flip over a card and you get to mark off one of those numbers. That's basically it. If you ever fill a row or a column, you usually get a bonus. That bonus could be like, now you get to mark off a 4 anywhere. Yeah. Or you get some energy, which are like lightning bolts. And you can use those energy essentially to increase or decrease the number of the card. And that's all you're trying to do. You're trying to fill out these cards. That's pretty much it. But it's great. And it's got like classic Phil Walker Harding. He borrows from a couple other games. He also get these moons. The moons are kind of like the pudding in Sushi Go, where it's like whoever has the most gets 6 points. Whoever's the least loses 6 points. There's a little bit of like silver and gold in there kind of situation. It's like Phil Walker Harding, where he borrows a lot from himself and always comes out with something banger. And Super Mario Lucky Box is great.
Great little filler game. I love the look and style of it. It's so light and easy. You can play this with everybody. I'm very happy with it being exactly what it is.
Yes.
It's just like,
doesn't need anything else.
Sort of a luck fest, have some fun, get out.
Yeah, have a good time.
Got no problem with that. We played Tidal Blades, Heroes of the Reef. Tidal Blades is, man, this is a game that like we've been on a little bit of a journey with, where we played it way back when with James Hudson, back when the Kickstarter happened, which was, I think, 18 years ago.
At least 20.
And we enjoyed it. Then we finally got the game. We played it. We're both kind of like, And then we played it again, and we're like, And then we played it again, we're like, oh. And now we enjoy it quite a lot. And it's really
I like
fun.
it more every single time I play it.
It's got some bloat to it. It's big. It's a big game. I'm talking about like physically.
I think the game
what
itself,
you're doing in the game itself is not that crazy.
No.
It's a really fun game.
Yeah.
Really enjoy this game. I like that you're doing these challenges and stuff. You're basically like American Gladiators, but like fish folk.
In Jet Ski World.
In Jet Ski World. And so you're trying to do like stunts and like do performances and things, and you're rolling out these dice to try to roll certain types of symbols. And the cool thing is that when you complete a challenge or attempt it, you don't even have to complete it successfully. You are going to go up on your 4 dials. You have like spirit and your focus and stuff. You're training, right? You're gaining skills. And I think that's a fun. I think that the world and stuff, the art and everything is beautiful. We have like the deluxe version of Tidal Blades. It's like it's not even it's the best produced game of all time. Like,
and honestly, for these crazy big deluxe games, which are a thing now on, it was one of the cheapest. I think it was like $80.
Yeah, it was
for like what you're getting compared to like
when
these
we finally
other
got it, I was just
like,
they charge too little for this. It's too much.
It seems like it's kind of cheap, but nonetheless, I really like it. I like Tidal. Like I say,
I really enjoy the
every
world
single
of it
time we
all.
play it. I like it more than I did the time before. I really, really, really like Tidal Blades.
It's really fun. It's beautiful. I mean, like it's just very cool.
It's probably
and
the
it's
most
got us
gorgeous.
excited for the final
for
thing
it.
we're talking about. Tidal
Hey!
Blades, Rise of the Unfolders.
Wow.
This is the follow-up to Tidal Blades. This is a cooperative dungeon crawler type game.
It plays nothing like Tidal Blades.
Nothing like Tidal Blades, but
Just
it's the
set in the
same
same
characters and stuff, and you're moving forward. So you're going to see...
It takes place basically right after Tidal Blades.
Yeah.
Like,
so
yeah.
in the events of Tidal Blades, there's like these monsters that are coming from the fold, and like the whole like world building. And these games are built off the world that was created by Mr. Cuddington.
Yeah.
The artists, and so in Tidal Blades, we're like doing trading, and then like, oh, there's these monsters, you need to go fight like the Tidal Blades of old and stuff. And so basically this is like 10 minutes after the events of Tidal Blades. We're sort of like new heroes, and we're going to like fight for real.
Yeah, like real talk.
And so this is like a campaign game where you're going to be going through. They have like these cool, like the storybook maps and stuff, which is like the new going thing, which is such a cool thing where you kind of put two books together, creates your board. There's going to be monsters you're fighting and stuff. And you have this cool action system where you can basically play a card into a 3x3 grid.
Yeah.
And if you have one card there, you're going to do one card, and there's pre-printed stuff on your player board itself,
You're going to activate the whole row or column.
You're going to choose a row or column to activate. But the cool thing is that if you get 2 cards in the same row, or then even 3, you get to do this like super turn.
Yeah.
But every time you fill out a row and then take that action, you lose those cards, and you have to shuffle them up and put them out again. And so you kind of have this fun like build up of like combos. It feels like you're like a video game kind of where you do like this cool combo and you're over here and but then you have to kind of like recover,
Yeah.
And it's really fun. So we played the introductory scenario for this, which was super duper fun. And we're actually gonna be doing a live stream marathon once the campaign is live. The campaign is coming up for this.
April 2nd is when we're doing it.
Beginning of April, we're gonna be doing this. We're gonna play through all 6 of the available scenarios
with James
back
Hudson.
to back with James Hudson, who's from Druid City Games, who's making this game.
Indeed, we'll play that over on Twitch. It's super fun. It's gonna be like probably like a 12-hour stream of playing through all. I really like Tidal Blades.
Continues the world building. It goes deep into it now, where your characters are gonna grow and level up and stuff like that. I'm so excited to see like what the campaign brings, because the world of Tidal Blades is so cool.
Yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was super cool. I thought it was rad. I really like that kind of that kind of like column/row action selection system you saw in like Monumental, which is like a kind of deck builder game, has a similar thing. Yeah. And I really like that, where you're kind of building out this like engine, but then you get to activate it, but then that engine also goes away and you kind of have to fill in from there. I just think it's really cool. You're just able to do cool stuff, and the first scenario we played was like really fun. I'm really excited to see like where the campaign goes. I know there's gonna be like new stuff and all this kind of crazy stuff. And this is one of my favorite worlds in board games, if not my favorite world in board games. I think it's so outstanding. Yep. I really like the original. I really like this one too. So that's Tidal Blades.
Rise of the Unfolders.
It's just awesome. It's just
and
rad.
that's it.
That's what we played this month. That's 26 games, if I think I counted correctly.
26, 27, somewhere in there. Yeah,
Not bad for February. It's only 28 days. It's almost a game
March
a day.
next month will be bigger because we went to Dinosaur West.
Yeah.
Or
anytime you go to a con, there's like a spike in games you play.
like that. And so next month will be a little bit bigger. But nonetheless, that was all the games we played in February. Thank you so much for being here. We'll kind of do a little Q&A part because we are filming this live. And so if anyone in the chat has a question, please feel free to pop it in the chat. And again, while you're here, make sure to thumb up this video.
Like up this video.
It really does help us a lot. So give us a thumbs up while you're here.
Good.
But nonetheless, a lot of really good games this month. It was cool. Yeah, February was a good little month. It was a short month, and so we didn't get to play quite as much.
I feel like we got some good stuff in, though. I mean, it's a shame you didn't get to play Ark Nova, so you couldn't have.
I haven't played Ark Nova yet, so I couldn't talk about it.
We did some good stuff. If anyone has any questions before we depart, let us know.
Yeah.
My question for you, someone was asking earlier, what was the best game we played this month, or what's been the best game you played this year so far?
Boone Lake.
Boone Lake?
Well, I don't know about the year.
Boone
About
Lake's
this
taking
last month,
top
Boone Lake.
honors?
Boone Lake by far, for this month at least.
So my question for you, and we're going to probably in the mid-year do a Best Games of 2021 revisited, because we obviously, you can't get to everything in the year that games are coming out.
3 or 4 of the games that, because is Butoku 2021?
I think so.
Yeah, so like a lot of the games that we didn't get a chance to play all would have made the list. And the list was already hard to make. 2021 was a good year.
The list is inevitably going to be different, a year after, because you've had a chance to play some catch-up. You're never going to be able to keep up with it all.
No, God, there's too many games.
But would Boone Lake usurp? Cascadia was a number 1. Is that, would Boone Lake
Cascadia.
at this moment be the number
when
1?
we did Cascadia, I was like, I love Cascadia. But I was like, Cascadia will probably be in the top 5.
Yeah.
But I was like, Cascadia.
But to that point, we hadn't played Boone Lake, hadn't played Ark Nova.
Those
hadn't
two
played
alone.
Butoku, so it was like...
So right now it's probably Boone Lake, but that's because I've played Boone Lake more times than I played Ark Nova. I have a hunch Ark Nova probably will overtake it, but as of right now, it's Boone Lake. I think Boone Lake is so good.
Yeah. We have a good would you rather
let's go.
question. Nick, would you rather be able to instantly know how to play a game when you open its box, or be able to teleport any game right to your table, only one at a time?
The former. I don't mind unboxing games. I don't mind setting them up. I would like to be able to just know how to play games. Absolutely. The former.
But if you could be like Ark Nova's here right now.
No, former. We'll get it eventually. It's not a big deal. I would just love to be able to. I mean, think of how great a con would be if you just would know instinctively how to play every game. It'd be great. Or like going to some like a game cafe and be like, "What's this game?"
You know what I would do?
Like,
I would go to a game cafe and I would just go like zoom, zoom, and I would download them all in my brain, and then it'd be Mega Man.
That's fair. Yeah, so the former for sure, absolutely for sure. What's up, Lena?
I'm going to go teleport games just to be different.
Said, first time catching you guys live, although I've loved listening to Nick's melodious tones on the DXM podcast.
Oh, yeah.
If you haven't checked out the bonus shows over on the Patreon, they are free.
I have melodious tones, I've been told. Hello, everybody.
Said, will we go to the UK Games Expo this year? Almost assuredly not. Not for any reason.
I will have a couple day old at that point, so no.
If someone's like, hey, Nick, we'd love to fly you out to come out here, maybe I will, but I would not.
I'd say between now and October when we're going to Essen, if you're going to see anyone, it will be this guy, and I'm a firm maybe to probs not.
Probs not for basically everything.
I want to go to all these things. UK Games Expo, hopefully will happen soon. We would have been in Aircon this week if it weren't for the proximity to my wife's.
Yeah, most likely, yeah.
To our, it's not like my wife's kid's our kid.
My wife's
being born.
child.
We're due in mid-May, so I was just like, let's maybe not leave the continent.
Yeah.
Let's stay continental. Yeah, all right, we're gonna stay in the lower 48 for the duration. So
indeed,
UK Games Expo is out for this year, but high on our marks for places we want to go.
Yeah, it's tough. There's so many cons we want to go to, and there's not that much time. You know, we have to, because whenever we go to a con, like we have to keep working too. So it's like or rather, when we go to a con, we're not working, but so we have to front load everything. We do a lot of work for like BGG. We do a lot of work for our own channel. So the thing is, we have to then work really, really hard in like the month or two prior to get ready for it. So the more we leave to go to these like week-long cons, the harder it makes our job. Yeah. And we don't make money when we go to cons. So it is. We
make some, but it's not. You can't replace the week of work. No. To this point, we're hoping to find ways to. I would love nothing more than to like cons are like sort of like the main focus of a year, and we build everything around that. We do build stuff around the cons now, but like to the point where it's not such a financial hit to go to these things, because that does mitigate some of that. Then also there's, you know, for me at least, there's always going to be moving forward some amount of like, I can't be gone for a month. Like
I'm single, so I can just
family
go.
Obligations.
He's gonna be able. He's gonna be like, cool. I can't just leave.
Eventually, my kid will be old enough to be like, you're coming with.
Yeah,
you know. Then life is chill. So then we're on. But yeah. So real quick, Quicksand says I had to do work stuff while you're discussing Ark Nova. What were your thoughts? My thoughts simply are this: I think it's amazing. I had the hype built up to here, and it lived up to the hype absolutely, which is not easy to do.
Yeah,
because it's been built up.
Yes,
hard.
I really, really liked it. Really I think it's a game that like I went into it expecting to really, really like it. I really, really liked it, and I think it's just going to go up from there. That's my guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good, and I'm not saying exactly how much I like, because I've only played it once. We played it like relatively late at night, so it's just like I want to try it again, of course. And I don't know when we're gonna be able to, because our copy isn't coming to like May. So we'll see.
I saw an update, so we ordered it on Amazon through Capstone.
Yeah.
And so I saw Capstone release a thing saying like, it's been on a boat in like Long Beach for a long time, and it's going to be delayed. And I checked Amazon real quick, and it said like still coming on the 17th of March. I was just like,
let's go. That's now.
And then I got an email. Amazon said, nah,
and they
man.
said,
like,
never mind.
Dang, I thought they got around it somehow. We had Brown House Board Games played Champs at Midgard with Valhalla.
Good game.
I just got into this game. Ganchon Clever, Rolling Right, Sunset Over Water for a quick weekend, weeknight game. Cool. Love that. Love that.
Dragonlance asks, what cons do you go to? We generally go to.
We'll
go in kind of chronological order generally. We usually try to go to Strategicon, which is our local con.
And that's 3 times a year. We try to go to at least 1 or 2 a year.
Mostly because we have a lot of friends who go. We just play games. We used to go to Dice Tower West.
Yeah, Dice Tower West.
We've gone to Aircon. We'll probably end up going to Aircon in the UK, which is like right now in the future. We're not going this year. and then at that point, like I've been to Origins. Mike hasn't been to Origins. I'll probably go to Origins this year. Gen Con.
Essen. We haven't been to yet, but that'll be on the list this year, and then PAX
Unplugged, and also BGG in the fall.
Yeah.
We'll probably go to. But that's pretty much it. We would like to go to some more smaller cons.
Yeah.
We're probably going to have the Bing Bong Con, which is going to be our own convention. We're planning for January of 2023 , like mid-January.
The weekend of Friday,
so
the
that'll
13th,
be one as
MLK
well.
Junior weekend, or the weekend after, starting on the 20th next year.
So that's it. It's not too many, but like the thing is none of those are close to us. So we have to travel to all of them.
Yeah.
And so it makes it much more difficult, especially for him, because he's got like a wife and about to have a family and stuff. I can just go.
If we lived in the Midwest, life would be smooth.
It'd be so much
drive.
easier.
It's a few hour drive to all of them, which we discovered when we were going to do our Murphin Through the Midwest tour, which unfortunately did get canceled.
Yeah.
We were like, oh, all of these cities are very close
They're
together.
all like 3
Let's
hours
just
away.
go to them. Let's just do them all. And drive, but then we didn't get to do that, which is such a bummer, man.
James asked if we played Red Scythia. No, we have not. Want to, though.
Want to so bad.
Haven't had a chance to, but want to.
Yeah, I almost played that at Dice Tower West. I was like, let me just grab it because I'll be able to figure it out quick enough because of its overlap to Raiders of the
it'll
North
be
Sea.
easy to figure out for sure.
Never got to it, unfortunately. Let's see, what else we got here? James says, question, you said you enjoy playing Raiders of the North Sea. Oh, sorry, my bad. I didn't read the first half.
No, you good? Yeah, I kind of, sorry, I just shortened the end of it.
Matthew says, you should charge $500,000 to go to Bing Bong Con. Try to get one person to buy a ticket.
That's all we need. Some board game people got money.
Here's the thing: if we make it $500,000, some people are like, "That's a deluxe event. I got to be there," you know. And I'm like, "It is in a hotel in the valley."
Boom.
But you paid, and there's no refunds.
S. Ren said, "I see Merchant's Dark Road behind you. How do you like it? We like it.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's great, but I think it's fine.
I think it's good, not great.
I think we need another play of it, but
I want to play at a higher player count again. Yeah,
it for us doesn't quite live up to its world building and art.
Yeah.
I think the game is fine.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I think some of the coolest things in the game are things that you do the least of, and I'm like, I want to do more of that.
That's one of the main problems.
It's a bit of a letdown, to be honest, but
yeah, it's good.
Yeah, don't hate it.
Linnea's asked, Murph the Midwest 2023, hopefully.
Yeah.
We'll see.
More likely than this year.
We're still going to do our Murph the Midwest. We really want to do those kinds of tours where it's like we spend a week, rent a car, and then hit a bunch of different. We want to do one through like the kind of like Northwest, Pacific Northwest, maybe go over to like Nebraska, hit up Our Fan Plays Games, do one of those, maybe do one like in the South, maybe do one like the East Coast and stuff. We want to do those kind of things. Again, it's just, but the problem is we need like a week to do that, and it's finding the time and the money, because that's a very expensive trip ultimately, to do that. And so it's tough, but we're still at least gonna do Murph in the Midwest because we promised we were gonna do it. It got canceled because of COVID. So we're still gonna do that one at the very, very least. Absolutely. We want to do more.
We'll see at Origins. Hopefully, yeah. It's very likely that Nick will be there with
I'll
Restoration
probably be there.
Games.
He definitely won't, but I'll probably
I'll have a couple-week-old at that point. But, you know.
Oh, that's Steve. Okay, that's right. Okay.
Hello. Linnea says, hello, Linnea, by the way, says, doing a game night tonight at a friend's house, and I think I might finally get to play Barron Park for the first time. I'm stoked. If I love it, it's your fault. Praise be to Phil Walker Harding. It's great. It's probably his best game, right? Like, objectively.
Probably his best game objectively. I don't know if it's my favorite of his games, but it's probably his best game for sure.
It's so good.
It is good. Oh, yeah.
It's darn good. It'll make you feel good as well.
Right in the heart. Check out my video where I made Barron Park. You
Nick
will be one of 3 people who's watched it.
Meticulously recreated Barron Park in Planet Zoo.
That's the best part.
Dude, it's a shame because it's one of the coolest things ever been made, and it didn't get the love that it deserves because it's too high concept, but people should watch it.
It's really good. I like it a lot. I think I did a really good job. Megan said, can you guys please do a playthrough of Dinosaur World? We'd love to see that. We actually are planning on doing that.
Yeah, it'll be a Game House episode soon. We have some things coming up that we're doing, but I'd say maybe we could have that come out in April. There probably would be time. We have Nightmare Cathedral coming out from Board and Dice soon, so we have to get that filmed.
Yeah, we got a couple of different things. A playthrough of Boone Lake will come out soon. Honey Buzz is coming out this week. We have them planned out, and some of them even filmed. Yeah. We try to have them done basically like hopefully a month in advance. That's the plan, because they're very intensive editing wise. Yep. And so we try to stay as far ahead. Although with Dice Tower West, we've kind of not fallen behind, but we've kind of gone back to normal, and we're trying to get back ahead again.
Yeah.
Steve asks, are gas prices affecting trip plans? Not yet, but they might in the future.
Yeah, we're hanging around here, so. Yeah, hopefully by the time, like, we're not going anywhere. Again, the next, like, trip would be Nick going to Origins.
Yes.
And hopefully by that time, gas prices have settled down. Obviously, you're flying there, so it's a different thing anyway. I don't know if the flight costs are going to go up. I imagine they would. But yeah, so far, no problems. I mean, gas ain't cheap, but we're very local, so we don't go.
Yeah, we don't drive very much anymore. I used to drive a ton. Now I don't drive as much anymore.
Yeah, good timing, dude, because that'd be rough.
Yeah, Taylor said, bros, check out the Capstone website. I canceled my pre-order through Amazon yesterday and ordered directly through Capstone, and my Ark Nova is shipping today. Label just printed this morning. We might do that.
Really?
We might do that. I want to get it. Dang it. I want it.
I know.
All right, fam, if there's any last questions, pop them in chat. We'll probably start wrapping up here. Mikey.
Yeah.
Who sponsored the Brothers Murph this month?
The Brothers Murph this month are sponsored by Ambi and Toby. You know them as Ambi Rona, one half of Board Game Blitz. Ambi and Toby are, I'm going to say it, Nick, out of pure love. Nerds.
Yes, they are.
They're nerds.
They're disgusting nerds.
They love 18xx games, and Ambi and Toby have made a website to help facilitate. You can play also a whole bunch of 18xx games.
Yeah, they love some 18xx games.
I think it's at 18xx.games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, they believe so. Yeah,
we'll double check that. And this is a browser-based way to play 18xx games and stuff. So if you ever wanted to delve into that part of board gaming, you can rock it out. You can play stuff. I played 18 Chesapeake in that. It was my first time ever playing an 18xx game, and it was crazy because this is like big brain smart people stuff. And they have an awesome thing that they're building, and it's just available for people, which is super cool. They even have a mascot called Hexy.
Yeah, very cute.
And so if you are into 18xx games or want to try, you can play online and stuff with people. You're going to find a community of people that really want to give it a go. And you can try various different ones, because I know there's differences between, 1830 and all the other years that these things take place.
There's
in.
so
All
many.
the 18s.
Who'd have thought there were so many years in 1800s?
There's trains for them all, so you can do a bunch of cool train stuff. So thank you, Ambi and Toby. We love them. We've known them for a long
wonderful
time.
People, and they're pushing this thing, which I think is cool. But here's the thing: if you're gonna play 18xx games, it's a great way to do it. You can do async, you can do it real time, hot seat, all the different kind of stuff. It's really, really bad.
It's beautiful.
What's up, Mary Lou? How you doing? We're about to head out right now. But thank you all so much for being here. Very last thing, we always shout out our Season 5 sponsors. Mikey, Lucky Duck Games, we talked about earlier.
Boom, we talked about. We got Board Game Geek. You already know where the merch and all of your board game information on planet Earth is on Board Game Geek.
Indeed. And then the OG sponsors, Restoration Games.
Restoration Clams.
Boom, exactly.
Boom.
Restoration Games is great. We love them so darn much.
We love them. We travel with them usually when we're going to conventions. We're usually with Restoration Games.
Indeed. But I think that's going to be it, everybody. We love you all. Thank you so, so much. I really like this kind of new format of doing like a live rapid reviews and not
a little chat
and kind of like a normal video, but then doing a Q&A afterwards. So be back next month where we'll have a lot to talk about, because
make sure once this ends, if you hear in chat, comment with your favorite game you played, and if you haven't thumbed the video up, please thumb it up. It really helps the video get in front of people.
Indeed, it does.
Thanks, y'all.
Thank you all for being here. I guess we'll see you all later. Have a good rest of your day, and bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Boom, boom, boom.
Boone Lake, boom, boom, Boone Lake, Boone Lake.